Every empire believes it will last forever, until the pattern catches up with it. Rome followed it, Britain followed it, and now America is showing the same unmistakable signs. This is the three-stage collapse cycle every empire goes through, and the stage the United States may already be in. Welcome to Wealixon, where every story reveals how money, power, and history shape the world we live in. Here, we uncover the patterns behind inflation, crashes, empires, and the lessons they left behind. Chapter 1. Empires don't collapse. Suddenly, they follow a pattern. When people imagine the fall of an empire, they picture dramatic endings, burning capitals, defeated armies, collapsing governments. But in reality, empires die quietly long before their destruction becomes visible. Collapse is not a moment. Collapse is a process. And throughout history, Rome, Persia, Spain, Britain, the Ottomans, even the Mongols, this process repeats with shocking consistency. Historians call it the imperial decline cycle, but we're going to simplify it into the clearest form. Stage 1. Chapter 2. Stage 1. The Rise. The engine of greatness. Every empire begins with something rare: unity, purpose, discipline, and hunger. During this stage, a nation is focused, not on luxury, but on survival, not on politics, but on productivity, not on entitlement, but on ambition. T. His stage is defined by innovation, military discipline, expanding trade, national pride, high birth rates, low debt. A sense of shared destiny, Rome's first centuries showed this. The early Chinese dynasties, Britain during the Industrial Revolution, America from 1776 to roughly the end of World War II. People worked hard because they had to. Governments spent carefully because they had no choice. National identity was strong because survival demanded unity. Empires rise not because they are rich, but because they are hungry, and nothing kills hunger like success. Chapter 3. Stage 2. The peak. Wealth, power, and the beginning of weakness. Stage 2 is not collapse, it's the golden age. This is the moment an empire becomes the strongest force on earth. It dominates trade, currency, innovation, culture, and politics. But stage 2 also introduces the seeds of decline. Seeds people don't notice because they were too busy celebrating success. This stage is defined by soaring wealth, global military presence, cultural influence, rising standards of living, strong currency, booming trade, large bureaucracies. And the beginning of overspending empires at their peak always believe they are unique, that they have broken history, S-cycle. But prosperity creates comfort. Comfort creates entitlement. Entitlement creates division. And division creates weakness. At the peak, a nation begins to believe we're too powerful to fail. We can afford debt. We can run massive military commitments. We can consume more than we produce. We can print money without consequences. Rome believed this. Britain believed this. Every dominant empire believed this. In America today, with the world's reserve currency, the largest military, and unmatched cultural influence, is unmistakably in stage 2. But stage 2 never lasts forever, because eventually, prosperity becomes unsustainable. Eventually, the bills come due. That's when stage 3 begins. Chapter 4. Stage 3. The decline. The point of no return. This is the stage no empire escapes from. Stage 3 is defined by rising debt, declining productivity, currency devaluation, internal division, political polarization, militarist overextension, weakening global influence, loss of trust in institutions, falling birth rates, and widening wealth gaps. This stage is not always dramatic. Sometimes it takes decades, sometimes centuries, but the pattern is the same. The empire becomes too expensive to maintain. 2. The government spends more than it collects. 3. Debt grows until it becomes unmanageable. 4. Currency is printed to solve the problem. 5. Inflation rises and economic confidence drops. 6. Citizens lose trust. 7. Foreign nations reduce reliance on the empire. 8. Military reach shrinks. 9. Social cohesion collapses. 10. The empire dissolves or becomes irrelevant. The order may vary slightly, but the pattern never changes. And now we ask the question the audience is here for. Is America entering stage 3? Let's examine the evidence. Chapter 5. America in stage 3. The warning signs. When historians look back at today, they won't focus on politics, personalities, or ideology. They will focus on structure, because the structure tells the story. And America is now showing nearly every structural sign of stage 3 imperial decline. Let's examine the major ones. Sign 1. Exploding debt. The classic stage 3. Indicator: every declining empire spends more than it earns. Rome debased its coinage. Britain borrowed heavily to maintain its navy. Spain borrowed from foreign bankers to fund wars. The Ottomans printed money as tax revenue collapsed. America today, over $35 trillion in national debt. Trillion-dollar deficits during stable economic years. A debt growing faster than GDP. Interest payments becoming one of the largest expenses in the federal budget. This is textbook Stage 3 behavior. When an empire becomes too expensive to maintain, it turns to borrowing. Borrowing becomes normal, then borrowing becomes essential, then borrowing becomes permanent, until the empire collapses under its own financial weight. Sign 2. Money printing. The Stage 3. Lifeline: all declining empires eventually manipulate their currency. It's the easiest way to hide financial weakness. Rome added copper to its silver coins. China printed paper money until it collapsed in value. France inflated its currency before its revolution. America? The Federal Reserve created more dollars in the past 15 years than in the previous 100 years combined. Quantitative easing, zero interest rates, stimulus packages, trillions created out of nothing. Now, this is not normal monetary policy. This is Stage 3 survival policy. When an empire relies on money creation to maintain stability, it is no longer rising. It is trying to delay the consequences of decline. Sign 3. Internal division. The social breakdown of Stage 3 is always marked by internal conflict. Not just debates, but deep, unresolvable division. Rome had political chaos and civil wars. The British Empire fractured over ideology. The Ottomans were torn apart by ethnic conflict. Spain collapsed under corruption and infighting. America today faces political polarization, cultural fragmentation, institutional distrust, media-driven division, declining national identity. This is not a political problem. This is a historical pattern. Empires lose unity before they lose power. Sign 4. Declining global influence. The geopolitical marker: every empire fades internationally before collapsing internally. Britain slowly lost global dominance after World War I. Spain lost influence after its silver mines dried up. The Ottomans lost influence long before their empire ended. America today faces rising China, a multipolar world, declining global trust, reduced influence in the Middle East, challenges to the dollar AS dominance, global alliances shifting. This does not mean America collapses tomorrow, but it means the world is no longer unipolar. Empires fall when they lose the ability to shape global events. Chapter 6. What stage is America in? America is no longer in Stage 1. The rise is over. America is no longer at the peak of Stage 2. The signs of strain are visible everywhere. Based on historical markers, America appears to be in early to mid-Stage 3. Debt rising, money printing normalized, political division deepening, global influence challenged, public trust eroding, economic inequality widening. This is exactly how decline begins: quietly, structurally, predictably. But here's the twist. Most people miss. Empires rarely collapse from external forces. They collapse from internal weakness. Rome wasn't destroyed by barbarians. It was weakened from within, and the barbarians simply finished the job. America's threat is not China, not Russia, not BRICS. The biggest threat is the same threat every empire faced: debt, plus division, plus institutional decay. Chapter 7. Can America avoid collapse? History shows that most empires do not reverse Stage 3, but decline doesn't always mean destruction. Some empires peacefully transform, some downsize, some stabilize. Avoiding collapse requires 3 things: restoring fiscal discipline. No empire survives endless borrowing. 2. Rebuilding national unity. Stage. 3. Collapses are always social collapses first. 3. Redefining global purpose empires fall when they lose strategic clarity. These changes are rare, but not impossible. The question is whether America has the political will, the social cohesion, and the leadership required to make the shift, because the clock is ticking. History's cycle doesn't pause for anyone. Chapter 8. The uncomfortable lesson of history. Every empire believes it will outsmart the cycle. Rome believed it, Britain believed it, Spain believed it, China believed it, the Ottomans believed it, and today America believes it. But history is not emotional. History does not care about beliefs. It cares about structure, behavior, incentives, and patterns. And the pattern America is following is the same one every past empire followed. The signs are not subtle. They are obvious, if you have the courage to see them. If this episode helped you understand America's place in the empire cycle, then you're exactly the kind of mind this channel was built for. Here at Wealixon, we break down the hidden systems shaping your money, your economy, and your future, so you can navigate the world with clarity, not confusion. Subscribe if you want deeper insight into the forces that topple empires, create wealth cycles, and rewrite history in real time. Stay aware. Stay sharp. See you in the next video. Bye.